What is going with the on? So there's been a lot of controversy over our privacy and how Facebook is competing with TikTok, and then how Facebook secretly bought TikTok, and how people are trying to separate their accounts, where even if you set up an account with TikTok or Instagram, that Facebook won't have too much direct access, or they won't pinpoint, like where you are and all that stuff. You see, the thing is that when it comes to terms of use, whether we realize it or not, we're actually giving Facebook permission to have our data. And we're also giving them permission to do what they so please with it. I'm not making this up. It's literally in terms of conditions. Like, this is not coming from my mouth. It's their mouth. And I've been a conspiracy theorist for as long as I can remember. So when I tell people things, they don't believe me because like, on paper it sounds bizarre, but when you actually see things unfolding in real time, you're like, okay, maybe he wasn't so crazy as I thought. For a while, for the longest time, people didn't believe that aliens exist. I mean, there's like a small minority that don't believe aliens exist, probably the super religious people. But for the most part, nowadays we believe that there is some other life form out there, whether we see it, which we won't, probably not in this lifetime, but whether we see it or not, and when we see things unfold in real time, the government becomes more bold in their actions. At first everything was, keep everything on the hush hush. And now it's like, this is what we're doing, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So, I want to make this video. I know it's a long intro, but, I'm making this video to, I guess, to shed some type of awareness. Normally when I make videos, it's to talk about how I'm feeling and what's going on in my head. And I'm sure there's only one person that's actively watching my stuff, but if someone just happens to come across the video, at least it was out there. You know what I mean? So With that being said, um, the government is doing their best to to monitor what we say and what we do. Um, to the point where the Constitution is more of an idea than a reality. Um, in some states, Pornhub was banned. You know, at first they said, you need to verify your age. Okay. And they bring you to a separate website where you put in your information and your information is saved. So when you log onto these websites, your information could be linked to that website so you can use it. Now, keep in mind, there are people that hack information and would use your information against you. So that's really not the best idea. It's up. People are still doing it because, P-Hub is like the McDonald's of explicit websites. I mean, you go there, then there's XNXX, and then there's X videos, and then X hamsters, and then 8tube, then RedTube, and the list could go on. But they're implementing that you have to put your information in on a third party website, or sometimes I heard you have to put it in their website, and then they store your information. But like I said, people could hack it, and Sony's a big company, but there was a time where Sony got hacked, and PayPal, another big company, they got hacked. So no one's information and no company is safe. If someone wants to get to it, they'll get to it. If they want your information, they'll get your information. Dedication and will. Then I discovered that I Googled, when I first discovered that, P-Hub was banned, because it's this certain, you browse on Facebook, then you see, these girls, pretty much promoting their business provocatively. Then they leave their Instagram, they leave their OnlyFans, they leave their Twitter or X account, and, so that's how I discovered that P-Hub was banned in Nebraska. So I did some researching, and then, they said, you pretty much need a VPN. And every time when you go on YouTube, you see a bunch of YouTubers promoting, their paid sponsorship, NordVPN, VPN this, VPN that, and sometimes you just don't want to pay for things. You know what I mean? So I discovered that when it comes to your cell phone, I haven't tried a laptop, but a cell phone and I guess, a tablet with I guess cellular capability, which it can act as a cell phone, I guess. You would have to, what I discovered is you have to turn your Wi-Fi off, because your Wi-Fi is, I guess, it's location bound, I guess. So you have to turn your Wi-Fi off, and you have to turn your location off. So when you turn off your Wi-Fi and your location, I'm no scientist here, but I assume that the website is grabbing onto some type of satellite that's not in a jurisdiction to where you can or can't, find certain things, because, this one girl has some, I was like, hey, I really want to see what she looks like. And she has a P-Hub video, so, I went on back onto the thing, and, I said, hey, this is what you have to do. I'm sure using a VPN might be easier, but I think a VPN sort of kind of works the same way. A VPN is like, if you want your location to be in Iceland, or you want your location to be in Canada, or you want it to be in Japan, wherever you want, I guess it's so, people can't target you, and the ads that pop up won't be targeted to you, but this girl that I know, I told her, what happened, and I told her, I was like, hey, turn off your Wi-Fi and turn off your location, and then she texted me back. She was like, oh yeah, it works. And I was like, yeah, I know it works. I like, why would I tell you something that doesn't work? And then comes Instagram. So I have multiple accounts, and I've noticed that well, for the past 3, maybe 4 years, I've discovered that Instagram is pretty much a parent to Facebook. So anything that you do on Facebook, could be switched over to Instagram. And there was a time where I had my Instagram and Facebook completely separate from each other, completely separate. And for some, and I had like 600-700 followers. It's not a lot compared to all the other influencers out there, but I had some good content, and people subscribed to me on Instagram. And then one day, I suddenly couldn't log in, so I logged in. I tried logging in a few times, forget my password, the whole entire command and caboodle. And long story short, my account was banned from Instagram. I don't know why it was banned, but it was banned. Like I emailed, Instagram customer service, not a response. Not that I think I got one or anything like that. Nothing. So then I try to create a new account with my old email address, and Instagram does this thing where when you try to make a new account, even with your old address, um with your old email address, they say that you can't make a new one. You know, like when you enter in your email address and then a password that you want, you know, it's going to send an error code like, oh, we can't continue. It's not telling you that you can't use that email address, but it's telling you that it's something wrong on their end on why you can't continue on making a new Facebook account. So it seems like they're not targeting you per se. So, um, when you're on Facebook and you see certain Facebook reels, you know, and you try to comment on it, you know, for some reason it's an Instagram reel where it directs you to Instagram, which I think is stupid, you know, but it redirects you to Instagram. So, you know, I'm like, dang, you know, I really need to make a new Instagram where I could, when I see a video that I like that's from Instagram, then I could, when it redirects me, I could automatically comment onto the new onto the Instagram thing. So I tried to create a new Instagram. I used my old email address, didn't work. I set up a brand new email address. It didn't work. Why did a brand new email address didn't work? Because of the Wi-Fi and the location. So what I did is I turned the Wi-Fi off and the location off. See if it worked. So the old email address that I put in still didn't work. The new email address I put in still didn't work. So what I did is I uninstalled the app, restarted my phone, and remind you the location and Wi-Fi is still off. So, because what Instagram does is that not only does it ban your email address, but it copies the IP address of the phone that you're using, and it also copies you know, the location and everything else that you're using. So when the phone is resetted and I redid, you know, everything, I think it reset it knowing my IP address. So I tried it again and it still didn't work. So it asked you to sign up with a cell phone. So I have multiple phone numbers. So the one phone number that I have that is strictly for business and, you know, connecting with my mom and everything like that, you know, I'm not going to use that for online because, you know, then you get some dude from India that's saying that you owe a debt or something like that. So, you know, that's never going to happen online again. So there's an app where there's multiple apps that you could use as a dummy phone number, kind of like a Google phone number. So I put in a dummy phone number, it sent a code. Because I'm not subscribing to the phone app that I was using, because I'm not subscribed, I had to pay 79 cents to unlock the code. So I paid 79 cents to unlock the code. Then I provided it to Instagram. And then Instagram was like, okay, now you can put in your email address. So I didn't put my old email address. I put the new one just in case if, you know, whatever. So I did. And now I have a new Instagram. But what I'm trying to, I know it's a long story, but what I'm trying to get at is that, you know, Facebook, Zuckerberg, they're, you know, they're doing things where even though you want to be independent, you still have to play by their rules. And for 20, 25 years, you know, there's been absolute complete warning, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be relying too much on social media. But listen, there's not a single minute, I'm not going to say a day, there's not a single minute where every single person on this planet can go 1 second without being on Facebook. And I'm guilty too, even though I'm going on there to share memes and, be a jackass or something like that. But, that's as far as it goes. But admittedly, I can't live without it. It hurts my pride and my ego to admit that, but that's the truth. And the people that are watching it, I know for a fact that you can't, because there's been 3, maybe 4 occasions where I've seen people delete their Facebook, delete their Instagram, delete their YouTube, delete everything, and then come right back. And I've done it at least 3 to 4 times. I deactivated my account. I didn't delete it, but I deactivated it, see how far I can go. And when something exciting happens, I'm like, oh, not that anyone cares, but let me share it. And then when I do, then it's like, and just the stuff that you see, it's disgusting, but you don't want to look at it, but it's kind of hard not to look at it. It's kind of like no, not that. It's kind of like stumbling across a video of Bill Gates and that chick that babysat his millions and billions of kids, that was safely inside of his baby maker, I guess. It's nasty, but you can't help but to look at it, because that's just a part of curiosity. So, and that's what Facebook is. Furthermore, then there's TikTok. I don't care for it. I don't care for it. I really don't. And I said that I never will create a TikTok until recently, because I heard that TikTok was getting banned. So I was like, all right, let me just download it just to say that I did. And I downloaded it, and then literally the next day it was banned for like 6-7 hours, and it came back on. And then it turns out that you can now connect your TikTok to Facebook, because Facebook has your information, and Facebook bought out TikTok secretly. So Trump didn't do anything. It was just an underhanded deal. I like Trump, I like the guy, but the more time he spends with political people, the more he turns out to be a true politician. And that's what politicians do. So, they lie, they pretend that they're the savior, and when at the end of the day, everyone is secretly working together. So Zuckerberg bought TikTok, and now your information on TikTok is no longer safe. On top of that, I also heard that if you never had TikTok and you never downloaded it, then you can't download it again. So there's people there's people on that who has iPhones that are selling their iPhones for like up to $50,000. And the lowest was 10,000. So I'm thinking like dang, did I download it at the right time? But anyways, we're all just pawns, and there's nothing we can do.